Okay, everybody, we are back. We have a guest. First of all, we have a guest. His name is Ilya. Because after three weeks.
Good to be back, guys. Good to be back.
After 3 weeks of me doing it at home, I'm back in the barber shop. Feels good.
Yeah, I gave Yossi some time to reconcile with the wife, to have a better relationship, a stronger
trash talking.
Hey, I gotta redeem myself somehow, bro.
Okay, let's do it. There's a saying, right? If you want to be higher than somebody else, don't make them stand in a ditch. You have to stand on a chair.
Okay.
Just saying.
So, Ephraim, what you got to say about all this?
I'm all ears. I got nothing to say.
Okay, so we're back, and we are in Parshas Vayera.
Right. Welcome back, everybody. Please smash that like button. Please recommend us to your friends. And we hope you find these videos entertaining and
informative.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we'll make Yossi do another somersault today.
Oh, I don't know if we're going to have time for that today. A little bit out of time. But let's first talk about the...
Vayera.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Parshas Vayera. We're going to go just talk about quickly speak about what the Parsha talks about, and then we're going to go into some juicy details and things that are related to the Parsha. Okay, so let's do this.
Did you get your notepad? No, the other one that you left here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the Parsha starts off that, right, last week we left off that Avram Avinu got a Brit Milah,
right,
circumcised, and Hashem came to visit him, and he told Hashem, hey, wait, because he saw there were guests, and he actually took the guests, and he said, which shows how important having guests is, that he even told Hashem to wait in order for him to accept guests. And then the angels came and said that he's going to have a son. And we talk about Sodom. And these are
the same angels that were supposed to go to Sodom and destroy
two of them, yeah.
Right, okay.
And then, so Avram davens Hashem not to destroy Sodom. And there's a whole story of the angels coming to Sodom and Lot taking them in, and then them chasing, ends up that they all wanted to kill Lot, and then the angel saves them, and everybody dies, including Lot's wife, except for Lot and his two daughters.
Correct.
Then, and what happens there is that they think the whole world is destroyed, and so they decided they had no other choice other than to have a child with their father, which they did. And they made him drunk or whatever, and that's where Moav and Ammon comes from. And then Avram moves to Gerar, where Avimelech is king, and he says that Sarah is his sister because they think they're going to kill him. Mm-hmm. He thinks they're going to kill him, and she gets captured, and then God tells him, if you know what's good for you, you better give it back.
Correct. So I have a question for this particular situation.
Okay.
At this point, with Abimelech, at this point, Avram already has followers, 318 warriors. There's an opinion that it was what's his name? It was Eliezer. That was his gematria.
Who was a slave.
Who was his slave? Correct. Now, there's an opinion that when did he acquire Eliezer? When he left the Pharaoh's house, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the first time Sarai was taken. At this point, Avram already is a powerful man with a reputation that killed 4 kings. Okay? Filthy rich. How is it that he allowed his wife to be taken by Abimelech, where he himself says he's a Rasha? In his eyes, he's a Rasha. He took his wife to his palace, and Avram Avinu just let it happen? I understand if right there and then his followers weren't there, his army's not there. But as soon as somebody took your wife, the first thing you do is go raise an army and take your wife back. A Rasha just took your married wife to his palace. How is this allowed? How did he allow this to happen? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Well, again,
He himself admits he sees Abimelech as a rasha. He doesn't see him as a very good person. How did he allow this to happen?
he was afraid for his life. I don't understand. You're asking why was he?
But
afraid
why
for
was
his
he?
life?
He already beat the 5 kings.
By miracle. You're not supposed to rely on a miracle.
Still, he had followers. He has an army. There's a reputation that precedes him. How did this happen in the first place? I understand at the time of Pharaoh, okay, it's a Pharaoh. You can't go against the whole nation. First, he wasn't as wealthy at that time. He just came out of his father's house, and all of this happened. But with Abimelech, he already solidified his stature. You understand what I mean? How did this happen in the first place? And on top of that, Hashem afterwards had to do a huge miracle for him. Make Yitzchak look exactly like him so nobody would question if Abimelech even touched her.
Right.
Correct? So why did this, or how did this happen in the first place? That he allowed his wife to be abducted by Abimelech, who he sees as a rasha.
I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe someone could put in the comments, whoever was, if they know the answer. I have no clue.
Okay.
Okay. So we're up to there in the parsha now. Is there a green light on your thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's backwards.
Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, we'll pick it up differently, but yeah, it's okay. Now, then, finally, Hashem remembers his promise to Sarah, and they have a son, and he was circumcised at 8 days old, had a bris milah, and by the way, Avram and Sarah were 100. Avram was 100 years old, and Sarah was 90 when their son was born.
Right.
Hagar and Yishmael were banished from Avram's house, wander in the desert.
So
Hashem hears him crying. 1 second.
So Abram acquired Hagar and Eliezer from the Pharaoh.
Yeah, that was last week's parsha.
Right.
But
But wasn't Eliezer the Pharaoh's son, and was it Hagar Pharaoh's daughter?
I know that they say Hagar was the daughter, but I never heard Eliezer was the son. I never heard that. Possible.
Okay.
I would not know. So Hashem hears Yishmael crying, and his mother that was distraught, and he made it. There was water, and Avram Avinu makes a treaty with Avimelech makes a treaty with Avram Avinu, and he gives him 7 sheep as a peace treaty. Hashem tests Avram's. The last thing is that right. He tests Avram, and this is the greatest test to say. Take your child. Remember, he had a child in his old age, and he's telling him, bring your child as a sacrifice to me. And then at the last second, Hashem tells, Malach tells Abraham not to do it. And that's where and then he brings a carbon. Instead of it being Yitzchak, he brought an ayil, a ram, and that's where the parsha ends. Okay, so we're going to talk about certain stuff that we talked about earlier, which is Bikur Chelim, visiting sick people. So it's very interesting, actually. The Rosh says that Hashem, we learn from here that you don't have to actually speak or interact with the sick person. Even if you go and sit there, it's already Bikur Chelim. Why? Because we see that it says Vayera elav Hashem. It says that Hashem appeared to him, or Vayera Hashem Avram. I don't remember the exact lashon. Hashem appeared to Avram, and it doesn't say anywhere that he spoke to him.
Okay.
Right. So even just going, and he says even more so. The Rosh says that even if a person goes and visits someone while they're sleeping, it's also Bikur Chelim, because why? Then afterwards he will hear that the person came to visit him, and it's going to make him happy. This is a very special mitzvah. Now, and even more so, the Koheles Moshe, which was actually his name was Moshe ben Avraham a Kohen, and he was a Magid in a town near Berditchev. He says in the name of Rabbi Yitzchak Horowitz that there's actually a reason that it would be us or it would be forbidden to speak to a person who is sick. And the reason is because you might get him. You might be too much for him, right? A person's sick and you're talking to him, you're making him talk, and you could be a burden.
Right.
There's actually a reason not to talk to him. And that's why Hashem didn't speak to Abraham, he just was there. Now there are some places where it says that perhaps it is important to speak, to ask about if everything's okay, and but I guess it depends on the type of sickness, right? I think what it says is what I learned in the Sefer was that it's a difference if the person has a headache or if it's a different sickness. Whatever the case is. There's actually there's a story with the Ksav Sefer and Rav Shimon Wolf Rothschild that it says that it says in the pasuk es haderech asher yelchu ba, the way that a person should go in. So it says that's talking about Bikur Cholim. By Bikur Cholim itself, it says that it's a way that a person should go. In other words, a person should come and go. He shouldn't stay for too long. So we see that Bikur Cholim not necessarily means to stay there for who knows how long. It just means it could be for a short time, and just that itself makes a person feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and here's something interesting for the Midrash Halpias. You might like this. So it says that someone who has a disease, a person shouldn't actually sit. And here's another thing that you can learn from this pasuk of Haderech Asher Yelchu Ba, that mentions moving and walking, that it says that by a magefa, by a disease, a malach hamavis has more control, more power. So it says that if he sits, so it's more of a chance that he can have power. But if he just is there and he keeps on moving, so it's less of a chance that he's going to get, he can be, that the disease will be contagious. It's an interesting medrash. And this is something actually we mentioned, Ilya, I don't know if you remember, you mentioned something about that it's by the Bukharians, it's a very big, very great minhag that when someone's sick, you go in to clean their house. Yeah. Send someone to clean the house. So the Ramban actually says that one of the main fundamental parts of Bikur Cholim is to clean the person's house. And there's a story in the Gemara that Rabbi Akiva went with his Talmidim to visit one of his Talmidim. And he told his Talmidim to go ahead and to clean and to pour water because that makes the dust go down, right? Mm-hmm. Afterwards, the student said, Rebbe, you gave me life. The student tells Rabbi Akiva. And from there, Rabbi Akiva said that someone who doesn't go and do Bikur Cholim, it's as if he's killing a person. Why? Because when you go to a person's house and you clean for him, you could save his life. You can make the air clean. You could give him, a better living condition.
Help him heal faster.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Let's just talk about let's mention one of the comments here. There's another aspect to this question. Oh, so this is my brother Mendy. He's saying there's another aspect to this question. Why is Gilui Arayis okay, let me through the question. There's another aspect to this question. Gilui Arayis is Yareg Val Yaver. So religiously, how can Avraham let Sarah be kidnapped under a false pretense that she isn't married? Right, meaning it's one of the Averas that even under threat of death, you still have to give your life up. So how can it be okay for Sarah to go to the king's home, even if you're going to say that
he said that
Avram's going to be killed, right?
Okay.
Even if Avram will be killed, this is one of the sins, right? If a woman is married, one of the sins that you're not allowed to transgress, even if it's life and death. So it's another question. Mendy, if you have an answer, please indulge us. Why am I getting a call? Okay, it's fine. It's
Is
still
that recording?
It's still recording, so it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Next. Anything, Ilya? Oh, by the way, I forgot to introduce Ephraim. I was making a joke that Ilya is a guest, and then I didn't actually introduce our actual guest. Ephraim is a dear friend, and we're happy he's here. And hopefully he has something to share with. Oh, he was
here once before last year.
Yeah, I think he was.
One
been a
time.
year, bro.
Were you on camera?
Only once.
Yeah, it was
I think
once.
one time, yeah.
Listen, you have to come at least 3 times.
He was on
I know,
camera
he's telling me
once,
all the
and
time.
then he saw it on YouTube, and he fell in love. And now he's like, I want to be on camera all the time.
Okay, so let's.
So, Ephraim, let's see what you got to say about all this.
Well, we just asked the questions, we're leaving it up for the comments.
Well, I don't have an answer.
Do you have an answer?
I'm still behind. I'm still in Parshah Bereshit actually.
Wow.
That's
Because
fine.
I'm using different Mefarshim now, since we started the cycle over again. So I started learning Or Chaim and Ramban Mefarshim. So their commentaries are like super long. Just on Bereshit, they have like 15 pages on expounding what it means, just the word. So
Right.
I'm not even like, that's why when I was in this farm store, I was like, I kind of want a chumash that will give me like the full picture. I know Chabad chumashim are really good at that. There's different versions. I usually use a Chabad chumash. I use the Gutnik one, usually the orange one, the one. But sometimes it's so concise that it kind of doesn't give you the full picture all the time. You'll have to look elsewhere.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah.
But yeah, so since I'm doing more Mefarshim, I'm like so behind. I haven't even gotten to the week's Parsha yet.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. Okay. Yeah.
But I'm sure like the questions that we have, the Mefarshim will most
they're-
likely
yeah.
bring it up.
There's for sure. And I'm sure there's hundreds of answers.
Yeah, and Midrashim also. It's not just,
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next thing. Oh, so here's an interesting question. It says that Avram was in Elon and Mamre, in the plains of Mamre. Mamre was a person. One of Avram's very trusted servants, actually. I think it was a servant or a friend. I don't know. But there was under Eshkol and Mamre. So it says that why was it in Elon and Mamre? Because Mamre was the one who told Avram Avinu to do a bris milah.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, he had the merit that Avram Avinu was in Elon and Mamre, in his area, in his place.
Okay.
So the question is, this doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Hashem told Avram Avinu to do bris milah.
Right.
So then he went ahead and asked Mamre afterwards, should I do it? Avram Avinu did everything Hashem said. Right?
Correct.
So this is a big question. So the answer is basically what happened was, and there's the same answer, just a little bit different from the Rosh and Rabbeinu Chaim Paltiel, where the Rosh says, and they both say basically that Avram Avinu was giving a bris milah to a bunch of people before him. And when
Before
he gave,
himself, you mean?
yeah, before himself, he gave it to everyone in his house, even children, and to honor an eshkol, and they died. The Reb Chaim Paltiel says that it was honor an eshkol.
They passed away from
the bris milah. Yeah, they died, and then he wanted, but he said Hashem told me, so he also wanted to. He didn't know what to do, and he also wanted to give a bris milah to Mamre, and because Hashem told him that everyone in his house should also have a bris milah. And then Mamre told him, no. It says Hashem, because he heard how Hashem had commanded him, and it says Himal Yimo, that first that you have to first circumcise yourself, and then you can circumcise others. So the Eitzah, the advice that he had given, that Mamre had given Avram, wasn't that he should do the bris milah to begin with, but it was rather that he should first give himself a bris milah before he goes ahead and give other people a bris milah.
Yeah,
And
otherwise
answers
it's
the
not kosher. If it's not, there's a halakha that says that if the person doesn't have it himself, he can't do it to other people.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, well, that explains it.
Does it explain it?
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
you have to,
I guess it translates from here. You can see that, yeah.
If the person is not circumcised himself, or if the
If
person
the
hasn't
mohel-
been
If the mohel,
circumcised.
if you have a mohel that's not himself circumcised,
Okay.
he cannot circumcise other people. If he does, that circumcision is not kosher.
Okay, but what if he's an anomaly, just like Moshe Rabbeinu or just like Yosef HaTzadik? He
Who
was
are born
born
that way?
circumcised. Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, the halacha is you're supposed to just make some blood come out. You don't have to
Yeah.
do the circumcision. You just
Yeah.
make sure there's
You
a.
still have to do some Priya, no?
No, there's nothing
No, the
there.
priya's there.
There's
It's
nothing
just
there.
it's
You
just
just
a question.
cause some kind of
Yeah, you just
kind
have to a little cut as long as some blood comes out.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
Really?
that's it.
Um,
So there's nothing to remove over there.
Huh.
He's already born that way.
Right.
yeah.
So wait, in this case, Abraham had to circumcise himself before other people.
Yeah.
Right. So this kind of connects with what we said earlier with the halacha that says that the person has to have it first before he's able to do others.
Exactly.
makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. Now we're going to get to some interesting stuff. We're going to talk about some heebie-jeebie stuff.
Okay.
It's actually the thumbnail was Angels, Demons, Humans. That was the title. So we're
Juicy stuff.
yeah, a little bit juicy.
Okay.
Now, where do we get that from? Because it says that what happened? Avraham Avinu, when he told the angels that some water should be taken and wash your feet. So the Sefer Meir Nesivim, and he was actually one of the greatest Talmidim of the Baal Shem Tov. So it's a pretty holy guy. Says like this: Yukachna me'at mayim. You separate them. Yukachna is talking about Netilas Yadayim, mayim rishonim, and me'at mayim, which is talks about a little bit of water, is talking about mayim achronim. Because at the end of the meal, the minhag is to take a little bit of
And wash your
water
fingers.
and just wash your fingertips. Now, why do we do so little? So he says that. So the Ben Ish Chai says the reason why you're supposed to be really careful that it should be very little water is because this water is for the Sitra Achra.
Right.
This water is for the literally Sitra Achra means the other side because we're the side of purity.
Impure.
At least we hope we're on the side of purity. We're not doing things that And this water, it's removing the dirt, and therefore.
It goes to the impure soil.
It goes to impure, and therefore you don't want to have you don't want to pour over your entire hand for mayim achronim because then it's much more.
That goes to the impure
Much
side.
more quantity that's going to the impurities. So you want to do as least as possible. And actually, it says that if a person has really dirty hands, because let's say he ate really oily fish, so he actually should wash his hands again, as if it's mayim mitzvah, like
That's
middle
mayim
waters,
mitzvah. Yeah,
right?
that's mayim
Where
mitzvah.
you can wash your hands again, and you should eat something afterwards. So you should, and that's what it says. You should take a piece of challah, take another piece of bread afterwards. So you shouldn't bench right after, because then it would be mayim achronim. You could take a piece of bread, eat it, and then do mayim achronim after your hands are already mainly clean, and you're just taking off, from the fingertips.
I mean, that's what we mainly do, anyways. If let's say you're having a meal,
Yeah.
and you had to interrupt it by going to the bathroom, you come out of the bathroom, you still have to wash your hands.
Yes. Right.
And then afterwards you sat down, but you eat a little bit of whatever before you do my macaronim anyway. So it's the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so now the Ramban, we're going to change to something the Ramban says. It says that actually, in the Gemara, it says that Shadim, they eat like demons. They eat like people. Because in the Gemara, it says that there's 6 behaviors or 6 things about demons
That are like human.
that are, no, 6. 3 of them are like angels, and 3 of them are like humans.
The red is in the Chagiga?
Yeah.
It's in Chagiga.
Yeah, it is in Chagiga. Very good. Look at this Torah scholar. See, he's quoting which yes, Maseches Chagiga. Exactly.
So angels don't eat.
It's not the only Gemara that speaks. Pesachim speaks about it. There's many Masechtas. I think, Pesachim speaks about it a lot. Kedushin speaks about it also.
Here, let me see. I actually put it.
Pesachim has a bigger sugi on it though.
I'm gonna actually check right now.
Actually, I had a question about that too.
Yeah,
It says that one of the 3 things that angels do, that demons do, like humans, is they reproduce.
Yeah.
How demons reproduce? I thought by doing something wrong, we create demons. So how can they? So
No,
that means
so
demons
officially,
can
when you
create
do something
demons?
wrong, you
Uh-huh.
create a bad malach.
Right.
It's not that, again. It's an angel. It's not a demon.
From
Demons
what I
are more
understand-
physical. Demons
right,
are more
but
physical.
from what I understand is an incomplete malach eventually judges against you, come to judge against you.
Uh-huh.
So he's like a demon.
No, it's
No.
malach Kabbalah. That's separate.
No, it's Nefesh HaChaim. It says that if a person did not Aveir, it creates the accusing angel against him.
Right.
But that when the angel to come to accuse him, let's say in this world, Hashem will send him to punish you as a retribution. But once that happens, he dies.
Okay.
That's what Nefesh HaChaim says.
Oh, but again, that's an angel.
That's different. Yeah. That's
Okay.
But it's very interesting actually that you say that.
It's not a shade. It's different.
But it's not. It's very interesting you mentioned death because basically the three things that they mention is like this. The six things are mentioned like this. Three things like an angel that what? They have wings.
Wings. Yeah.
They go from one end of the earth to another. They can travel. And the third thing is that they know what's going to happen in the future. What does it mean?
Right.
They know what's going to happen in the future.
Limited, right.
They can hear what's behind like the curtain or behind the
Yeah.
partition. Meaning they hear what's happening in heaven.
Decrees.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
not in the room, but they hear what's
Right.
going on.
They're like behind the curtain, like
They're hearing
eavesdropping.
Yeah. It's like your neighbor has.
So
10
we're
homes,
back
you
to
know?
the same question. How do they reproduce?
They
Like
probably
we do.
Yeah, they probably have reproductive
Like
organs.
we do, yeah. They're physical beings.
But they reproduce with other demons or they reproduce with human beings?
It's a good question. I think it's, I don't know. Is it
Or there's
possible?
male and female versions of sheep.
Demons, right. I get it. But
No, but the question is, can they have children with humans? I have no clue. That's a very, very interesting question. I don't know. But anyway, so that's, and then how are they like people? Number one, they eat.
Wow.
Number two, they can reproduce like human beings. And number three is they die. So you mentioning death by angels is interesting. It probably just means they get burnt up or they disappear. Because the actual idea of death, of having a lifespan, like they're like human beings, that's what demons have, shaded, not malachim. So it's just interesting.
So that's why I was always under the impression that the malachim that were incomplete were demons.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
You understand what I mean? Because eventually they disappear, but angels can't disappear.
No, they could. I mean, there's an idea that when there's revelations of God, that they're too much, they burn up and they expire. But it's, I guess, it's not a physical death we're talking about, right?
Right.
Angels are more spiritual than demons, but demons are more spiritual than humans.
Yeah.
That's how that would go. Okay. Now, there's just something else. I mean, I don't know if we have too much time. It was mentioning over here something about the tree and the well under it, because it says Abram tells the angels to wait under the tree.
Right.
You know, so in the Zohar it says that this tree, Avram Avinu actually planted a tree everywhere he lived. Wherever he lived, he planted a tree. And through that tree, he would see who believes in God and who believes in Avodah Zarah.
Right.
Oh yeah. I
Right.
remember
That
this.
tree was
It's
special. If it would cover you from the sun, that means you were a righteous
certain
person.
features.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't cover you, if it goes away from you, that means you're not a righteous person.
Yeah.
And so therefore, he wouldn't speak to you about God and righteousness. He would just tell you, "Okay, thank you very much. Pay me, get out."
Test, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So
But
it says right here.
if you were covered, the tree would say that you're a righteous person. He would talk to you about God and doing mitzvahs and things like that. That meant you were a spiritual person.
Right. So here it says that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. The tree would basically spread over the person and give him shade, and whoever was aligned with Avodah Zarah, so then the tree would disappear. They kind of shrink back, and it would go up. The leaves, the branches would go up.
Wouldn't cover.
And then
the
Avraham knew he was over the Avodah Zarah, and he would tell him, "Hey, you should, why he should not do Avodah Zarah." So he wouldn't kick them out. He would actually bring them closer to Hashem. And he wouldn't budge until he made that person do teshuvah. Very interesting.
I believe it was Shlomo HaMelech that cut down all these trees that Avram planted because he needed it for the Beit HaMikdash.
I never heard. Maybe, yeah.
The cedars of Lebanon.
Cedar. Oh, cedars. I think it says Yaakov planted. I think Yaakov planted those.
Was it Yaakov?
I think so.
Okay, probably.
But here, and it says something else. Also, someone who was tar or tameh. So whoever was tar, they would get shade. Whoever wasn't wouldn't get shade. And then Avram would know who needs to go to the mikveh. And it says Avram would help the men go to mikvah, and Sarah would help the women go to mikvah.
Oh wow.
Very, very interesting. Yeah.
So from here we see that mikvah is not only limited to women; it's for men to do. It's a mitzvah for men too.
Yeah, there's so much more.
It's not an obligation for a man, but it's a mitzvah to do so. Well, Cohens, because they have to bless the people, so they always have to keep purity.
Okay, there's a lot more, but we gotta wrap it up. Afraimel, you gotta visit us more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta come more.
Somebody has to go back to their day job. We get it. Don't worry, man. Soon enough, you won't need a day job. This is gonna be a day job.
I appreciate that. That's yeah. Okay, let's say goodbye to the people.
Support Yossi on Patreon. What was it, Patreon?
Yes,
Yeah,
Patreon.
That's what it was.
Give us your money.
The money. Kiss him. You remember that video?
I don't know what you're talking about.
there was a rabbi that came out and kept yelling on top of his lungs, kiss him. And then it was like, wow, this guy lost his mind. And then he's like, this is what's going on with the world. Everybody's running after kesef. Stop, calm down, look around.
So you know what the spiritual aspect of kesef is?
No.
Another thing that kesef can mean is yearning and longing for God. So basically, so either you're going to have a yearning and longing for godliness, like kesef, or the opposite is running after money, and then you, unfortunately, that's the other side of the coin. You know. So
why can't we have both?
You could, but the question is, what are you running after? What are you chasing? Anyway, guys, have a beautiful Shabbos. We hope you found this entertaining and
informative.
Yes, and
you caught me there. Somersault. Come on. Cheer for it. Come on, somersault.
I don't know if I. Okay.
I knew I was gonna make him do it.
1 second, here. Let me do it here where there's like some.
Go for it. Cushioning. Come on. What did he attach to?
The wire got.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's the end for today, guys.
Thank you very much for joining us. Good Shabbos, guys.
That was funny. Okay.